We are moments away from the Bills and the Dolphins from Miami. Today's game being brought to you in high definition by Sharp. The opening kickoff just ahead.
Presenting Subway Fresh Buzz, a look at football's top teams. Subway, the official training restaurant of Justin Tuck and Domicong Su, Mark Ingram, and athletes everywhere.
Today we take control of this division, right here on the road, baby. We don't do 1, 2, 3, win.
With cornerback Roman Harper leading the defense, and Mark Ingram, Drew Brees, and Robert Meacham driving the NFL's top-ranked offense, the first-place New Orleans Saints have won 3 of their last 4 games.
CBS Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Miami Dolphins won the toss. They have deferred. The Buffalo Bills will receive. So shortly we'll see the 7-year man out of Harvard, Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Well, a bit of a risk taker at times. He's not afraid to try and fit a throw into a very tight window. And this is where he's got himself in trouble at times. And as Chan Gailey told us last night, he has the accuracy, the anticipation, and the knowledge of the system that makes him a perfect fit for the Bills.
All right, so back deep, the combination of C.J. Spiller, who has blazing speed, and the one-time Jet, Brad Smith. New kicker for the Dolphins, Shane Graham, signed yesterday due to the groin injury suffered by Dan Carpenter. So Graham winning the audition and in the lineup. One-time member of the Cincinnati Bengals. This is Smith with the return across the 15-yard line. Goes for 17 as we check out the Bills. It is a revamped offensive line. Andy Levitre, as Rich mentioned, will start at center for the injured Eric Wood. That's a major loss for Buffalo. Backs and receivers. How about Fred Jackson in his 5th year out of Little Cove College in Iowa, leading the NFL in yards from scrimmage. Buffalo will open up with 2 running backs, Jackson and Spiller. Patrick completes over the middle. C.J. Spiller. Stopped by Sean Smith. It is a first down for Buffalo on the 18-yard advance. And here's Miami and their base defense. Paul Soliai is the nose tackle. Last year breakout season has not matched that to this point. Linebackers Cameron Wait leading the Dolphins, 5.5 sacks. We talked earlier about Carlos Dansby, who had a big game last week. In the secondary, Rashard Jones back as the starter at free safety, replacing Tyrone Culver. First down for the Bills at their 35. We are just underway. Nothing for Fred Jackson, who comes in averaging 5.5 yards per carry. Leads the NFL in rushing, but it was Jared Odrick, 2nd-year man from Penn State, who was able to wrap him up.
Well, Marv, this defense has played much better the last couple weeks. They've gone 2 straight weeks not allowing a touchdown. They held Kansas City to a field goal 2 weeks ago, Washington to 3 field goals, and they're getting much better play from that defensive line.
That was a loss of 3 on the first carry by Jackson. Chan Gailey stays with the combo of Jackson and Spiller. Out of the gun, a high snap. Screen is set for Jackson. Jackson fighting running room and is pushed out along the near side by the left corner, Sean Smith. That's good for 26.
Well, they do a really nice job. Take a look at the center and the 2 guards, how they get out in front of this screen, and great patience by Ryan Fitzpatrick. He draws the rush. Fred Jackson, such a good screen runner, has got great vision. This is really where they hurt you, when they get him out in space.
Now, Rich, you've been through this where you have a guy come in who has not done much snapping from the center spot. You can just imagine what is going on in the mind of Ryan Fitzpatrick.
His head's got to be spinning right now.
picked up 3, met by Carlos Dansby.
We'll take a look at the Buffalo Bills. They've lost 3 of their last 4. Big reason why is they've turned the ball over 11 times in their last 4 games. Fred Jackson having an incredible season. He leads the NFL with 1,309 yards from scrimmage. He's the real deal. And a big reason why they've been better on defense is because they've taken the ball away as well as anybody. 20 so far this season.
Bills have a 2nd and 7 at the Miami 38. Little shovel pass. And that clicks with Jackson. Nice cut. Another Buffalo first down as Fred Jackson works his way inside the 20. That's an 18-yard play. Jeremiah Bell, the strong safety, makes the stop.
Well, a little slip screen to Fred Jackson. They're just going to, it's almost like a shuffle pass. Let's go ahead and roll it. They're just going to draw the rush again. You see Fred Jackson. He just replaces the center right up inside. Not the prettiest thing by Ryan Fitzpatrick, but yet very effective. Fred Jackson, Marvin, having an incredible season, not just in the running game, but the passing game as well.
And you think about how far he has come from a Division III school. The handoff to Jackson. Finds a hole, gets inside the 15, picks up 6 more. Jared Odrick makes the stop. Fred Jackson has worked his way from the Sioux City Bandits, I know a favorite of yours, in the United Indoor Football League. Played in NFL Europe. Got to the Bills practice squad. Became their feature back a couple of years ago, and now, as you mentioned, the leading rusher in the NFL. Marv Levy, the one-time head coach, general manager of the Bills, attended Coe College, coached there, and he's the man who discovered Fred Jackson. Gets the call once again.
Well, he's been their most consistent offensive player, Fred Jackson. You just know what you're going to get from him, I think, each and every week. He's a complete back. He does it all. He runs, he blocks, he catches. A very unselfish player. When you sat down with him last night, Marv, I know we wanted to talk to him about his contract situation. Not interested, doesn't want to go there, just wants to play good football and help this team win.
But how unusual is it for a player to have this kind of success from where he came from?
It's incredible to think about. From Division III Coe College. He had that necklace on last night. He said the Division III boys. I mean, he never forgot where he came from. He played in the Arena League with his brother, and so that he's never forgotten that. And I think he really appreciates the opportunity that he's had here in Buffalo.
Apparently a problem with the clock, as we hear from referee Walt Coleman. Bills back to the offset eye with Jackson and now the fullback McIntyre. 3rd down and 2 at the Miami 12. Passes over the head of Stevie Johnson. It was a question mark for today because of a sore left shoulder, and he was wide open.
And this is a throw that Ryan Fitzpatrick normally doesn't make. But watch his eyes. He starts to his right, and he's late coming back to his left. And if I'm coaching the quarterback, I'm going to tell Ryan Fitzpatrick, get your eyes on Stevie Johnson right now, and you don't miss that throw.
This will be a 30-yard attempt for Buffalo's new kicker, Dave Rayner, filling in for the injured Ryan Lindell, who is expected back. Rayner puts it right through. Originally a 6th-round pick of the Colts. His 8th team in 6 years, Dave Rayner making the rounds. And he's able to connect. 3-0 lead for the Bills. Nine plays, 70 yards, and the 30-yard conversion by Rayner. Fred Jackson instrumental in that drive. Clyde Gates, the deep man for Miami, 4th-round pick. Rookie out of Abilene Christian, and it's a short kick. Gates from the 5. Taken down close to the 25-yard line. Ball down by Ruvel Martin, and a flag is down.
Holding, number 88. Offense, 10-yard penalty. First down.
Gerard Maskerud is called as we take a look at Matt Moore, who took over for the injured Chad Henne and has been the starting quarterback for the Dolphins.
Sign up with Dish Network today and get the Blockbuster Movie Pass included. That's over 100,000 movies, TV shows, and games delivered straight to your door by mailman.
People don't make a list of websites they want to see before they die. They don't fill photo albums with pictures from an online search. It's okay. The internet will be just fine without you. That's why we built the Dodge Journey. It has everything you need to get out there. Somewhere. Anywhere. Think of it as a search engine for the worldwide world.
Join us at McDonald's November 10th through the 20th for the Give a Hand fundraiser. Buy a hand and help support Ronald McDonald House charities and give hope to kids and their families. Hope's good. The simple joy of helping.
Combat Control, this is Air Force Rescue 1. We are inbound.
Over here.
Stay with us, man. You're gonna be okay.
Rescue 1 flight is outbound.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Autotrader.com. Now compare new and used cars side by side at Autotrader.com. And by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Here we go.
Well, back here in Miami, and opportunities like this don't come around very often for a quarterback like Matt Moore. Last 7 games of the season to prove he's capable of being a starter.
Goes to the ground for Reggie Bush, who has been on fire the last couple of games. An injury hit really come on. We check the lineups. The Dolphins offensive line led by 3-time Pro Bowl left tackle Jake Long, number 1 overall pick in the draft 4 years back. Reggie Bush, the feature back in his first year with the Dolphins following 5 seasons with New Orleans. Reggie has run for 242 yards, 3 touchdowns for past 2 games. Now the rookie Daniel Thomas in the backfield as Bush spreads out to the left. Moore on the move, it's completed, but a flag is down. The fullback / tight end Charles Clay made the catch.
Illegal contact, number 55, defense. Penalties decline. Play results in a first down.
10-yard pickup. It's a first down. The call against linebacker Kelvin Shepard. Well, the Bills defense, when they're in the 3-4, they are excited about the rookie first-round pick Marcel Darius moving to nose tackle. The linebackers, one-time Packer Nick Barnett making most of the defensive calls, and they've had their difficulties in the secondary. And the rookie Denarius Searcy starting at strong safety for the injured George Wilson. This is Bush. And Wilson, Rich, a very significant loss for Buffalo.
Yeah, it really was. You think about Kyle Williams, and I think the loss of him inside, now all of a sudden you move Marcel Darius inside, and then you've got the loss in the secondary as well, Marv, with George Wilson, and now the rookie has to get the start. We'll also see, I think, some Brian Scott a little bit based on offensive personnel, whether they stay regular or they go 3 wides.
Second down and 7 for the Dolphins. Moore working out of the shotgun. Moore's pass caught for the first down by Bush. And in talking with head coach Tony Sparano, they're trying to get Bush involved, similar to what Cleveland had attempted with Josh Cribbs. Just get the ball to him, put him out as a wide receiver, as a slot man.
This is what you want. You want Reggie Bush lined up, matched up on the linebacker. That's Kelvin Shepard, and he's not going to win that very often trying to cover Reggie Bush down the field. That's just too much speed for the linebacker. That's It's all about matchups, getting your running back matched up on a linebacker that can't cover.
Picked up 19 on the play. Inside handoff for Daniel Thomas, a rookie from Kansas State, second-round pick. Actually came to Kansas State as a quarterback and then made the move to running back. Also an option quarterback.
We look at the Dolphins, or they've kind of got things going in the right direction. They've won 2 in a row, and I'm not surprised because they've been close a number of times. They certainly have the talent, and it took a while to figure out how to utilize Reggie Bush, but check out these numbers over the last 3 weeks. 242 rushing yards, and then the defense has been on the roll the last 2 weeks, not allowing a touchdown. They're playing much better on that side of the ball.
2nd and 8, Moore with protection goes to the middle of the field and has a first down. Devon Bess makes the catch. Miami on the move.
Play action has really worked for the Dolphins the last couple weeks. Reggie Bush, watch the linebackers. You see Nick Barnett, he gets sucked up, and right behind him, you're going to see Devon Bess. Better throw there. You get a player like Bess into the transition of the run.
Good for 22 yards, as you see his 33rd catch of the season. It is a first down of the 29. You mentioned all the close games the Dolphins have been involved in. However, as their former general manager Bill Parcells would say, you are what you are.
Good shot of the Wildcat.
We saw quite a bit of that last week. And it's a loss of 1 for Reggie Bush.
Well, you have to remember that Reggie Bush is still a very dangerous player with the ball in his hands. He can make people miss. And I think his package of plays has grown each week. We've talked about the last 3 games, 242 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns. You look at his carries per game, first 5 seasons. Now he's become the featured back here in Miami.
Timeout being taken here by Miami. Last week, Miami opened up with a Wildcat, with a flea flicker, with a direct snap. None of it worked, as it turned out. This is a series that dates back to the old AFL days. Bills and Dolphins met for the first time 45 years ago, back in 1966 at Buffalo's War Memorial Stadium. Jack Kemp at quarterback for Buffalo with that handoff for a touchdown. Here's Darryl LaMonica. Touchdown pass and a Bills 58-24 romp over the Dolphins, their very first meeting. At one point in the 70s, Miami set the NFL record for consecutive wins over one team with 20 straight against Buffalo. And Rich, this is the 91st regular season meeting between these two clubs. 2nd down and long. 2nd and 12. Screen was set up, but it's batted down. Broken up. Chris Kelsey, who we talked with yesterday, very happy to be back after missing 2 games with a calf injury. Says he's hardly been injured until this season.
Well, you see Colombo tries to cut him. When you don't cut him, he's able to get his hands up and knock that ball down. And you're right, Mart, I love watching Chris Kelsey play. He's a guy that has a big-time motor. He doesn't take plays off. And as he told us last night, if we can stop the run, that's key for us today. If we can stop the run and make this team one-dimensional, we've got a big-time chance.
Again, Moore out of the gun. And throws, and is caught down at the 15-yard line by Brian Hartline. Now, Matt Moore's done a nice job moving the team, although to this point, we have not seen him look for Brandon Marshall.
No, he hasn't. And, Brian Hartline's another guy that's been pretty quiet. Just 1 catch the last 3 games. A little back shoulder throw makes it very difficult for Aaron Williams to turn around and locate that ball.
Brian Hartline in his 3rd year out of Ohio State. His 20th catch of the season. He was a hurdler at Ohio State, track star in high school. Now Bush and Lex Hilliard are in the running in the backfield as Bush gets the call. And he is stacked up. Met by Alex Carrington, the left defensive end. Talking with Reggie Bush the other day, said he had, as you'd imagine, a very difficult time dealing with that 0-7 start by Miami. People Miami area aware of Reggie's statement of "we stink" during that winless run. Some of his teammates not thrilled with that particular statement.
Well, I think he's heard the criticism. I think it bothers him some, and I think it's what motivates him.
Second down and 9. It is an end around Hartline. Beautifully executed off the fake. Kellen Hurd was able to get to Hartline along with Jarris Bird coming up from free safety.
Well, they're going to sell the run action, and Hartline's just going to come working right back around the old end around and does a nice job. It sucks up the interior of that defensive line, and you get Hartline on the edge. And Buffalo has really struggled the last couple weeks tackling. They didn't tackle well last week as a unit. Too many missed tackles. You look at DeMarco Murray and how well he ran the Dallas Cowboys running back against this Buffalo defense.
First and goal at the 2. Miami's had their troubles in the red zone. Off the pass, touchdown. Anthony Fasano, the tight end, who was a question mark because of an injured ankle, has given Miami the lead.
Well, a little delay. Play gets out in front of it. Fasano's going to stay in and chip first. You watch. And now he sneaks out, and as he sneaks out, the safety, Brian Scott, never feels Fasano in the flat. Missed a lot of practice time this week with an ankle. He was questionable on Wednesday and Thursday. Did very limited work at practice on Friday.
This is Shane Graham for the extra point. Previous 2 games, Fasano, not noted for pass receiving, more of a blocker, had 5 catches, 98 yards, 2 touchdowns, and another right here.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Sprint. All football, no limits, only from Sprint. And by Dodge Grand Caravan, the right tool for the job.
Good work by Miami quarterback Matt Moore, 5 of 6 for 70 yards on 12-play drive for 87 yards, and they ate up nearly 7 minutes. The new kicker for Miami, Shane Graham, for Brad Smith, who runs it out. And taken down at the 15-yard line for Julius Pruitt. Back with Buffalo returning to the offense.
You're watching the NFL on CBS.
You can get scores and manage CBS Sports fantasy football teams on your mobile phone. To get the free app, simply call *CBS or go to cbssports.com/mobile. Buffalo 1st and 10 from their 17, trailing 7-3, and Fitzpatrick goes high and wide, intended for C.J. Spiller.
Well, we've been talking about Andy Levitri, and his head must be spinning right now, Marv. He started the first 6 games at left guard, the last 3 at left tackle. Now he's playing center. Very smart player, great versatility. He did this in college a little bit at Oregon State. And I think communication is going to be the key for him this week. The other thing, the shotgun snap, something he's had problems with in practice. Ryan Fitzpatrick told us last night, when he misses, they're usually low to the left.
Second down and 10.
There it is.
There's a little bobble off that snap, and Fitzpatrick throwing on the run and able to complete at the far side to Spiller, but he was out of bounds. It is incomplete.
We were talking about the snap, the low snaps to the left, and what this does is it affects the timing and the rhythm a little bit for Ryan Fitzpatrick. Now he feels rushed. He's going to be late to C.J. Spiller, and C.J. Spiller can't get both feet in bounds.
Rich, as I touched on earlier, you certainly were involved in this type of situation a couple of times as a member of the Oakland Raiders. Levitri has hardly snapped the ball. How many snaps do you think he took during the course of the week?
He's probably taken at least 50 or 60 a day. The problem is he hasn't done it in a game. You see another short one to the left there.
Fitzpatrick forced to run, looking for the marker, and may have been able to reach out. Let's see where they spot it. Chased by Carlos Dansby, the inside linebacker, and it is short. Short of a first down.
And Marvin, we talk about these snaps and the change at center. It's very unsettling to a quarterback because you get a comfort level there. There's so much communication that goes on, and this is the thing that you love about Ryan Fitzpatrick. Watch the effort. He's trying to get the first down. That's why they paid him the big money in Buffalo.
Punting unit coming on, Brian Mormon, who was averaging 50 yards per punt. This time a low liner. Scooped up and like it was muffed momentarily and then taken out of bounds by Devon Bess. So such a thing as a low liner? I guess if it's a liner, it's low.
You ever see me hit a forearm? A low liner.
All right, for more than 30 years, it's been the must-see show the pros watch. Unscripted, unrehearsed, unpredictable. Our telecast, I think, would qualify on 2 of those 3 points. Join JB, Phil, Chris, and Warren inside the NFL. That's Wednesdays on Showtime.
Good look at your guy, Ryan Fitzpatrick, with the beard.
My guy.
I told him he looks more like a Harvard professor right now than an NFL quarterback.
You asked him why the addition to the beard. It's much fuller. His answer to you, leave me alone. And I thought that was really uncalled for.
He didn't want to go there.
On the part of Fitzpatrick, as Reggie Bush picks up 2 on the play. We have an update. Let's go to JB and Coach Bill Cowher.
Cincy 4-1 on the road, trying to keep it going.
And no Ray Lewis for Baltimore today. This was way too easy. 7 yards. Cedric Benson, 7-0 Cincinnati.
Capping a 7-play, 82-yard drive. Back to Marv Albert and Rich Gannon.
Well, guys, the Bengals have been absolutely wonderful on the road. Really impressed with Andy Dalton so far this season.
Miami 2nd and 8 from their 43. Play fake. Moore throwing deep. Moore completing inside the 15 to Charles Clay. 46-yard pass play. The Dolphins back on the doorstep. Clay working against the free safety, Jarris Byrd.
Well, I love the fact that they're taking a shot on the early down. Matt Moore puts plenty of air on this, and this is not an easy catch for a fullback / tight end, Clay, but he has great concentration. You see Jarris Byrd, the free safety, just late getting over. Matt Moore has really played well the last couple of weeks, Marvin. I said to him on Friday, if he can just eliminate the 2 or 3 poor decisions each week, he'll be in great shape.
Hand off to Bush, turns the corner. Stepped out at the 5, forced out by Danaris Searcy, picking up 6 yards on the play. Reggie Bush spending 5 years with the Saints. Miami acquired him in a trade back in July. Originally a first-round draft pick, 3rd overall in that draft by New Orleans.
Yeah, and I think he's heard the criticism, Marv, here in Miami. And I think the fact that they said he was a situational back, he can't handle 25 or 30 carries, he can't run behind or between the tackles. And, you know, I think in the right system he can. And I think the head coach brought him here to be a leader and the #1 back in this offense.
Hand off to Bush, straight ahead. He is in for the touchdown.
We just talked about the ability to run between the tackles, and in talking to offensive coordinator Brian Dable, they said they have absolutely no hesitation at all to let him go up in there and smack it inside. They love to run behind the left side of that offensive line. Jake Long's a Pro Bowler for a reason, and Richie Incognito, the left guard, they get good movement at the point of attack.
5-yard touchdown run for Bush. Shane Graham added to the roster yesterday for the injured Dan Carpenter. Adds the extra point. The Dolphins off to the fast start. They're up 14-3. Head coach Chan Gailey of the Buffalo Bills, one-time coach here in Miami, sure does not appreciate that stat. And talking with Ryan Fitzpatrick last night, he's telling us we're just not getting off to good recent games, and it has actually said it's shaken our confidence.
Well, they're not getting off to good starts, and they've turned over the football. 11 turnovers in the last 4 games, and I don't care how good you are on offense, if you turn it over, you're going to lose, and that's been the problem for the Bills the last 3 weeks.
Miami 2 touchdowns the last 2.5 minutes. Brad Smith returning. Found some space. Flag is thrown as Smith works his way across the 30, returning for 26 yards, but there is a penalty marker down.
During the return, illegal block in the back, 82. Return team, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Once again, it is Ruvel Martin. A reminder, tomorrow on CBS, it is a Hawaii 5-0 everyone will be talking about. Jimmy Buffett guest stars on an all-new episode tomorrow, only CBS. Jimmy Buffett, a huge sports fan. First row at, remember the Miami Heat?
Absolutely.
You know, he was tossed out of a game because he was a little, let's say, over-enthusiastic.
Is he bothering the play-by-play guy? Or?
No, I had no problem. He was bothering the officials. All right, Buffalo starting out from deep in their own end. Fred Jackson is bottled up, stopped by the combination of Koa Misi and Carlos Dansby, just a 1-yard pickup.
We were talking about Carlos Dansby in the open. He makes a lot of plays in this defense, and as we said, he's not short on confidence, calling himself the best linebacker in the game right now. But I just, this guy makes a lot of plays, sideline to sideline. He's a very instinctive player at the linebacker position, and he's kind of become the vocal leader as well.
First quarter is winding down, coming up on 10 seconds to play. Second down and 9 for the Bills. There's Jones in motion. Fitzpatrick incomplete. Intended for Donald Jones, and that is the end of the first quarter here in Miami. Dolphins with a 14-3 lead on Buffalo. We'll be back to South Florida after these messages. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Set for the start of the second quarter. The Bills are down to Miami. Now, earlier in the season, it was somewhat of a different cast of characters, different feel to it. But there were 2 tremendous comeback victories by Buffalo over Oakland, and then the win over New England would stop that 15-game losing streak to the Patriots. That was up in Buffalo. And last week, they were blown out by Dallas. Fitzpatrick guns it, and it's picked off on a deflection. Miami takes over Nolan Carroll on the interception. It was intended for Brad Smith. Nolan Carroll, the 5th-round pick last year out of Maryland, comes up with his first interception.
Well, talk about being in the right place at the right time. This one gets in on Brad Smith rather quickly, but he's got to make the catch. He knows he's going to get hit as soon as he catches the football, but you can't allow this to happen. Deflected balls, never a good thing. They land right in the hands of the secondary. Nolan Carroll right there to make the play.
It'll be Miami ball at the Buffalo 23, a Miami team that lost its first 7. People were talking about the Andrew Luck sweepstakes. They've won their last 2. Daniel Thomas straight ahead. He's averaging about 3.5 yards per carry, picked up 6, met by the weak side linebacker Nick Barnett.
Just the 3rd interception for that Miami secondary. We were out of practice on Friday, Marv, and they were dropping balls in practice. We talked to defensive coordinator Mike Nolan about it. He said this is a group that ain't really struggled catching the ball. But the good news is they came up with one today, and now this offense has to be able to capitalize in the scoring zone.
2nd down and 4. Thomas off the left side picks up 3, met by Barnett. The left corner, Sean Smith, last season had a very difficult time. He had many interception chances, could not hold on to the ball, one of several Dolphins, and it was mentioned by Mike Nolan, he actually had 18 possible shots at interceptions, where it's what would be called quality possibilities.
It's amazing when you think about it. You know, they set a franchise record for fewest takeaways last year with 18. This year, just 6. They've not done a very good job of that.
That was a full house backfield. Last week they went with a T formation, and Lex Hilliard, the runner, picked up 2. So Tony Sperano going into the gadget bag of tricks once again.
Yeah, they're just trying to generate a first down. And you know, I like how they've been using the different backs. We've seen Reggie Bush earlier. We've seen Daniel Thomas. They like to bring in Daniel Thomas. He's got a good burst for the bigger back and good vision, and he's a downhill runner. Then we see Lex Hilliard get some carries sprinkled in there. They'll use 2 backs. They'll use 3 backs. A lot of different personnel groupings when you study this Miami offense.
Hilliard picked up the 1st down. 1st and 10 at the 12. Nice play action fake. More on the run is off the mark. Intended for Brandon Marshall. Covered by Terrence McGee.
Well, one of the things that rained quite a bit here this morning, and watch Brandon Marshall right at the top of his route. He's going to slip coming out. This is dangerous because you can see McGee right there. You can't let that corner undercut you. The scary throw from Matt Moore.
Brandon Marshall, 53 receptions, leads Miami, 2nd in the AFC, right behind Wes Welker of New England.
This is the part of the field where they have to utilize Brandon Marshall. He's 6'4". He's got the size matchup against some smaller corners.
Again, play action. Touchdown, Miami. Charles Clay on a 12-yard reception. Matt Moore able to find that narrow window and Clay with the catch. His 3rd reception of this first half for 68 yards.
I think somebody blows an assignment there. They just turn him loose. You're going to see he's going to go right up through the middle. The back's going to offset. But watch Clay. Nobody even covers him. You see the safety right at the last second. Cersei, he tries to run over, but it's too late.
Here's Shane Graham. Adds the extra point. The Dolphins with a 21-3 lead. It was set up by the interception on the tip. Nolan Carroll came up with it. We are early 2nd. We'll be back to Miami in a moment.
Well, you look at that graphic right there and what's happened to the Bills defense in the first half in the last 2 games. They're coming off a couple tough outings, and they just haven't played as well or as consistently as they did the first month of the season, giving up too many big plays right now, and the takeaways are down.
Kick return handled by C.J. Spiller. Little change by the Bills. They had Leotis McKelvin also back there. 26-yard return. Coming up on the Spread Halftime Report, join JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, Coach Bill Cowher. Special guest, Houston Texans All-Pro running back Arian Foster. They are not scheduled today. The Texans off to a wonderful start, led by Foster. For all the latest NFL scores and highlights, coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report. Fred Jackson in the backfield for Buffalo. Play fake, and Jackson off the screen looking for some running room. Cannot find it. Gets up to the 25, met by Carlos Dansby.
The important thing here, Marv, I think for the Bills is to understand they've been in this situation before. They've been behind in a lot of games. They were behind 21 and they came back and beat the Raiders. They got behind 21 against the New England Patriots at home and found a way to come back and win that one. And I think it's important for Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's told us in the past that when he's gotten behind, he's become a little careless. He's taken some unnecessary risks. Stick to the game plan and make good decisions, one touchdown at a time.
And you know, there are Jet fans watching in New York just delighted with what they have seen here in the first half. Same for the Patriot fans up in New England as the tight end Scott Chandler makes the catch, but not for much. Will Allen coming up to make the stop. It's a 5-yard advance for Chandler. New England on top at 6-3. Patriots will be home for Kansas City tomorrow night. Buffalo at 5-4. Jets 5-5 off the loss Thursday night to Tim Tebow in Denver. See Brad Smith, who we're told has a rib injury, and his return is questionable. That's why we saw Leotis McKelvin back deep along with C.J. Spiller on the kickoff. He was pegged by Fitzpatrick. Diving catch made by David Nelson, but it hit the ground. It is incomplete. 3 and out for the Bills.
Well, better play by the secondary the last couple of weeks. You can see Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's got to force this one. And you can see Jeremiah Bell does a nice job getting a hand in there, making that a difficult catch for David Nelson.
Brian Moorman will come on to punt for the second time. Devon Bess is tripped up, scrambling his way across the 30-yard line. Garrison Sanborn, who was the long snapper, made the stop. 45-yard punt, 7-yard return.
This year, we wanted to be the best carolers in the neighborhood, so I hired the incomparable Beth Midler.
Here I am singing loud how I love my life. Out of my way, I'm here to stay in a one-horse open sleigh. Olay!
At a time when it's easy to go overboard,
I thought that went very well.
Acura invites you to be smarter and oversave during the Season of Reason sales event.
Take advantage of attractive offers on the 2012 Acura TL for well-qualified customers.
It's so nice to spend time just you and me.
I know. This is great.
You know, I feel like... Did you just check the game on your phone?
What? No. What am I, like some kind of summoner who can just summon footage to his phone like that? Come on.
I guess I'm just a little oversensitive. It's just that you and
yes.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Jared, the Galleria of Jewelry, with 5 times the selection of ordinary jewelry stores. Acura, Advance, and by Head & Shoulders. Respect the scalp, get the hair.
Partly cloudy, 80-degree day here in South Florida. While we were away, a late flag thrown on Corey McIntyre, the Buffalo fullback and special teams player.
I think he gets surprised by Austin Spittler, and then frustration sets in. You see him tapping him on the helmet, push him on the top of the pile, and right there, and the official's not going to miss that one. And just the selfish penalties right now. Got to be able to keep your poise when things aren't going well.
And both Buffalo and Miami, teams that do not commit many penalties. So Miami back to the offense. Beautiful cutback by Daniel Thomas. And again, a flag is down. So Miami has had 3 possessions. The end result, 3 touchdowns. Matt Moore, 7 of 9, 128 yards, and he has thrown for 2.
Holding, number 88, offense. 10-yard penalty, still first down.
Call us on the backup tight end, Jerron Mastrud. Marv Albert, Rich Gannon. We are at Sun Life Stadium in Miami. The Dolphins are trying to make it 3 straight wins after the 0-7 start. You remember Buffalo, they opened up 3-0, 4-1, including that impressive victory at home against New England. But they have dropped 3 of their last 4, including last week's 44-7 blowout at Dallas. Out of the shotgun. Moore could not find anyone and then slides out near the 40-yard line, picked up 2 on the play, and we're set for an update. Let's go to JB and Coach Bill Cowan.
Bad Cincy punt, good Ravens field position.
Yeah, and Joe Flacco, best when he's out of the pocket, able to survey the field. 6-3, both teams 6-3. Anquan Bolden ties it up. Huge AFC North contest right here. 7-7, second period.
Back to Marv and Rich.
Well, they better not forget about Ray Rice, guys. He's been quiet the last couple of weeks.
Second down and 17. Bush trying to squeeze his way. Good defensive series here by the Bills. Just a 3-yard pickup. Brian Scott, strong safety, made the tackle. Matt Moore spent 4 years with the Carolina Panthers. Started 13 games, signed as a free agent with Miami last July. And both Tony Sperano and the general manager of the Dolphins, Jeff Ireland, very familiar with Moore. They had him briefly in Dallas. Moore able to complete on the flat to Bush. Comes up short of a first down. Nick Barnett cut him off. That's an 8-yard play.
Well, this is progress to me, Marv. You think about last week, Matt Moore made a very poor decision in a 3rd and 31 situation under duress. He throws the ball down the field and it's intercepted. Come back the following week here, we got a 3rd and long. It's not there. You check the ball down to your back, Reggie Bush. You punt the ball. You play the field position game. Smart play by Matt Moore.
Well, it's been a very quiet first half for Brandon Fields, the Miami punter, averaging just under 49. A beauty right there. Fair catch taken by C.J. Spiller. 41-yard punt. Back to Miami in a moment. Eight minutes, 21 seconds remaining in this first half here in Miami for the Bills. It is their worst starting position of the day. 1st and 10 from their 9. Jackson trying to get to the edge, but cut off by Will Allen. Picked up just 4.
Well, let's take a look at some of Buffalo's problems today. They have not gotten off to a good start. You start with a bad snap. Now Ryan Fitzpatrick has to scramble around a little bit. He's missed some throws he normally makes. He's fading away a little bit at the back of his drop, and then you get the pick on the deflection off of Brad Smith. And he has been hit the last couple of weeks. As you look at Ryan Fitzpatrick, I think a big part of their success in Buffalo has been the fact that they've done such a good job protecting the quarterback. And there's a direct correlation between protection and an increase in hits, mistakes, and turnovers by the quarterback.
That's Donald Jones, who is injured. 2-year man out of Youngstown State, wide receiver who's caught 23 balls, and he's been in the starting lineup with the departure of Roscoe Parrish. We'll be back after this.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by McDonald's. I'm loving it. And by the Honda Odyssey, like no van before.
Well, it appears they put an air cast on the leg of Donald Jones. And it's pretty tough to take a look at the replay, so we will pass on showing it again.
Yeah, really unfortunate for him. He's out there trying to help his buddy, blocking for Fred Jackson on the perimeter, and Fred just lunges forward and trying to get some positive yardage, and he inadvertently goes right into the side leg of Donald Jones. You hate to see that. Hate to see one of your teammates get carted off the field.
Donald Jones made the Bills last year as an undrafted free agent. Got a shot as a starter, first with the departure of Lee Evans, who surprisingly was traded to the Ravens, and then with Roscoe Parrish injured earlier this season. Bills went with Donald Jones on one side, and then Stevie Johnson coming off the 82 reception season on the other side.
Yeah, and Stevie Johnson's been quiet now. He's not caught a pass in the first half. The last 2 games, he's yet to catch one today, and they've got to get him going.
2nd down and 6. Buffalo at their 13. Jackson. Miami's done a very good job against Fred Jackson. That's just a 3-yard pickup for Jackson. And we're set for another update. JB, Bill Cowher.
Coach, take it away.
Chad Chilling's going to take us in the corner. Watch Palmer put it in between the 2 men. Covers. He comes down with it. 10-7 Minnesota or Oakland. And Adrian Peterson, questionable return with a left ankle injury.
That will hurt for sure. Let's take it back to Marv and Rich.
All right, guys, 3rd down and 3. Buffalo at their 16-yard line. They have not had a first down since the early moments of the first quarter. Fitzpatrick under pressure, incomplete intended for Stevie Johnson.
Well, this is what Miami needs, these 2 corners to play better. You get a good look at Sean Smith, or actually Vontae Davis, matched up on Stevie Johnson. Stevie doesn't do enough to create any separation from Vontae Davis. Got to do a better job selling that route and get some separation at the top.
Brian Moorman has come on for the 3rd time, an 11-year veteran out of Pittsburgh State. Von Bess is back behind his 30. And Bess is taken down across the 35-yard line. 56-yard punt, 8-yard return. Again, it's Garrison Sanborn on the tackle. A programming reminder: Tuesday on CBS, Poppy Montgomery and Dylan Walsh star in TV's #1 new unforgettable all-new episode Tuesday only. CBS. Rich,
that's unforgettable right there.
Our producer, Ross Schneiderman, from here on in would like to be called Poppy.
Poppy. And Brandon Marshall's got his cousins or something up there doing a little dance. Brandon Marshall scores a touchdown or 2. He might see that out of him as well.
Daniel Thomas has come on as the lone setback. Miami back in possession at the 36. Here is Matt Moore over the middle. The tight end, Anthony Fasano. His 2nd catch, that's good for 7, met by Brian Scott. As we take a look at the left guard, looks like a very mean left guard, Richie Incognito. Nothing personal to Rich, of course.
Well, they're all mean up there. You look at Richie, and right next to him, Jake Long, and that's where they like to run the ball, behind those 2 nasty linemen. And God, right next to him, to his right, Mike Pouncey, the rookie, has played really well this year.
2nd and 3, Thomas. Close to a first down. Incidentally, on the subject of meanness, there's an NFL players poll conducted by Sports Illustrated. 287 players were polled. The meanest players in the NFL. On the right, Richie Incognito has made the cut. James Harrison voted #1, followed by Ray Lewis.
I played against 4 of them, and Richie is the only offensive player on that chart. That's pretty interesting.
3rd and 1. Thomas has a first down. Now, there was another poll requesting who are the nicest players. Who would you think is #1? Oh, there's #3 for you. Okay.
I'd have to say, is it a punter or kicker? Well, they're always nice guys.
Drew Brees #2. Do you have a guess here for #1?
I'm going to go Aaron Rodgers.
It's a surprise. I would have gone with that. It is Troy Polamalu.
I don't know about that. He wasn't very nice to me all those times we hooked up against the Steelers and the Raiders.
Was it personal?
He was not very friendly.
Thomas dancing his way, but that is most unexpected. A defensive back and a very tough defensive back, so he probably takes a hard hit and says, "You okay?"
Yeah, you notice all the naughty boys were on defense and the nice guys were on offense. That's why you're working with me, Marv, a nice guy.
Exactly. 2nd down and 5. Just under 4.5 remaining in this first half. Thomas seeing quite a bit of action this afternoon. That time picked up just a yard. Denoris Searcy on the stop. Matt Moore, 9 of 11. Fred Jackson has been held in check.
He was so good on that first drive, not only running the ball, but they were mixing in some screens. And since then, he's really struggled. Ryan Fitzpatrick, just 2 of his last 9 throws. And got to find a way to get something going here before the end of the half.
Miami with a commanding 21-3 lead over Buffalo. Moore staying on the pocket, able to elude. And now taken down. Had a lot of time, but could not find anybody. Did not want to force it, and Nick Barnett was able to get to the quarterback.
Well, he was doing so well moving around, and at the end, you just got to throw it away and move on. I mean, this is what you. We talked about eliminating the 2 or 3 poor decisions that seem to show up each week on film, and that's what's holding them back. You're playing with the house's money right now. You've got a 21-3 lead. Just throw the ball away and punt it to him. Be smart.
A loss of 13 is Brandon Fields punting for the 2nd time. Spiller trying to go to his left, and he had no shot. 42-yarder and a 1-yard return. Well, the Home Depot SEC on CBS will heat up the holiday. Friday, the Razorbacks play the top-ranked Bayou Bengals, and on Saturday, it's the Crimson Tide facing Auburn, beginning with college football today. And Rich, the 2nd, 4th, and 5th ranked teams all beaten yesterday.
Yeah, good chance Arkansas will move up in the polls as well as Alabama. And a huge weekend for college football once again at CBS. And you think about the winner of that Arkansas LSU wins that game. If LSU and Alabama win out, we could see them in the national championship game once again.
And the new rankings will be released later today. Off the fake handoff, Spiller on a swing pass gets zipped, stopped at the line by Will Allen.
Well, Chan Gailey spent some time here in Miami, and I think he's done an outstanding job this year, not only coaching this football team, but calling plays for Ryan Fitzpatrick in this offense. They've been very effective on 1st down, and when they get in a bind, he likes to put the ball in the hands of Ryan Fitzpatrick. Spread him out, get 4 or 5 receivers out, and let this guy deal the ball quickly and efficiently in this system.
Chan out of Americus, Georgia, quarterback at the University of Florida. His quarterback Fitzpatrick airing it out, and it's broken up. A hard hit on Stevie Johnson. You can see he's shaken up. He's coming with a sore left shoulder. Stevie Johnson, a 4-year man from Kentucky, took that shot from the strong safety Jeremiah Bell.
And Ryan Fitzpatrick's trying to hold Jeremiah Bell. You see Jeremiah Bell, he just gets a good shot right in the ribs of Stevie Johnson. And the thing you know about Ryan Fitzpatrick as a receiver, you got to love playing with him because he's willing to be aggressive with the ball. He's going to give you chances to make a play.
Buffalo takes a timeout with 2:19 left. First half. Coming up on the Sprint halftime report, join JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Bill Cowher, plus special guest, All-Pro running back Arian Foster of the Houston Texans, who are off to an excellent start. Have the week off this week. For all the latest NFL scores and highlights, it's coming up on the Sprint halftime report.
Well, it looks like a totally different team, this Miami team, than we saw in the first 6-7 weeks of the season, Marv. They're playing with a lot more confidence, really, on both sides of the football.
2:19 left in the first half. It's a 3rd and 10 for Buffalo. Here they come. Fitzpatrick. Again, a hard hit. It was deflected and picked off. Jeremiah Bell coming up with the deflection and runs it from 19, setting up a 1st and goal inside the 5.
And this absolutely drives you crazy as a quarterback. We've seen a couple of balls today deflected. Ryan Fitzpatrick drifts a little bit to avoid the rush, and that ball goes right off the arms of David Nelson. You've got to make that catch in space.
And Nelson is hurt. David Nelson, who has had an outstanding 2nd season. He's out of the University of Florida. Did not get a lot of playing time at Florida. Signed as a free agent. He's had 39 catches, 4 touchdowns, including that touchdown in Dallas last week with the ball handed to his girlfriend, who happened to be a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader. Not appreciated by everybody.
No, that drew some criticism. You think about, they can't afford to lose any more receivers right now, Marv. David Nelson, as you see him lying on the ground. Donald Jones already left, went to the locker room with an air cast. Stevie Johnson didn't practice at all this week with the shoulder. He's playing. They are beat up right now at wide receiver.
No catches from Nelson thus far today.
Well, you see that goes right into his chest. Watch his head come down on the turf.
Dolphins 1st and goal at the 4. Thomas. Daniel Thomas is stopped by the middle linebacker Kelvin Shepard. That takes us to the 2-minute warning. It has been all Miami in the first half. Coming into today, New England on top of the AFC East. They will be home for Kansas City tomorrow night. Buffalo 5-4, Jets 5-5 off the loss in Denver, and Miami 2-7. So Patriot and Jet fans feeling pretty good about this first half, with Buffalo trailing. 2nd and goal for Miami, looking to add another score. Bush in the backfield. Moore fires, and it's broken up. Almost intercepted. Brian Scott had a shot at it.
Well, this is dangerous when you look at Matt Moore. He's starting to his right. He wants to throw to Brandon Marshall, but watch, he comes back inside. He's late, and he never feels the safety. Scott right in the middle of that defense. Be very careful. It's a very tight area in this part of the field, and safety like Brian Scott doesn't have to cover as much ground.
Now Marshall flanks wide to the right. Moore's looked for him only once. Marshall does not have a catch. Now Moore looking end zone, fires, it is caught. Touchdown, a diving catch by Marshall. A flag thrown. If it holds up, it's Marshall's 3rd touchdown of the season. We await the announcement from the referee, Walt Coleman.
Holding, number 29 of the defense. That penalty's declined. Touchdown.
It's called on the right corner, Drayton Florence.
Well, you see Drayton Florence matched up on Brandon Marshall. He starts grabbing him, and then really nice concentration there. Well, it looks like that ball came out when he hits the ground. Watch when he hits the ground. Maybe I thought I saw it bobble there for a second. The official right there to make the call. Sure, they're looking at that one upstairs.
Within the final 2 minutes of a game, and also on all scoring plays, the officials upstairs will look at it. All right, here it is. Let's see, is there a bobble?
Yeah, see that ball
Yep.
start coming out? I don't think that's going to count.
Every touchdown eligible for booth review.
Yep. I don't think that's going to count. The good news, though, for the Miami Dolphins is that they did have the holding penalty on Florence. It's still going to be 1st and goal. He's such a big target, Marv, in the back of the end zone. You know, you love a receiver that's got that great size and speed and quickness, and it's 6'4". Second in the AFC in receptions, and this is an area of the field where I think he needs to get more work.
Similar to the way the Jets use Plexico bars in the end zone. Marshall, as you mentioned, 6'4", maybe 6'5", has 4 to 5 inches on a corner like Drayton Florence.
He's got those long arms. You know, he can extend and make great catches away from his body. And didn't do a good enough job of it last year, getting him more involved in the red zone. And well, he's trying to get both feet in bounds and does that, but that ball starts coming out. And I don't think they're going to call that a catch, unfortunately, for Brandon Marshall.
After reviewing the play, the receiver did not maintain control. When he hit the ground, the ball was loose. Pass is incomplete. Defensive holding on number 29 on the defensive team. That penalty will be enforced half the distance. 1st and goal.
A minute 48 left in this first half, and the ball is advanced half the distance, puts it at the 1.
Well, there's a reason why you went out and drafted Daniel Thomas in the 2nd round out of K-State. Your big tailback. Give him a couple cracks at it behind the left side of that offensive line. A total domination by the Miami offense. 190 yards, 3 touchdowns. Matt Moore has been very efficient as well. 9 of 12 for 143 yards and 2 touchdowns through the air.
1st and goal at the 1. Thomas and Hilliard now in the backfield. Lined up in the, Moore stumbled. He fell down, might have tripped over the center. No, it was Incognito who apparently made contact with Moore.
That's Mean Richie at the left guard. He's going to step on Matt Moore. And that's the worst feeling in the world as a quarterback. You're trying to get away from center, and one of those size 15s or 16s steps on your foot.
Timeout is called by Buffalo.
That's mistakes that kill you. That's what hurt Miami the first 7 weeks of the season. You know, whether it was a penalty, a missed assignment, a turnover in this part of the field.
Well, among the 7 defeats of Miami, lost by 1 at Cleveland, lost in overtime to Denver, lost by 3 to the Giants. 2nd down and goal, little shovel pass. Bush is stopped. Bills take another timeout. So that is their final timeout for this first half.
They're trying to get the ball back for their offense.
3rd and goal, just inside the 5. Tomorrow on an all-new day from CBS News, Gayle King plus Ty Burrell from Modern Family. And later this week, Justin Bieber, followed by The Late Late Show with Craig Ferguson, only CBS. You and the kids watch Modern Family?
Always. If I'm not there, we TiVo it.
No, you're making it up.
I'm not making it up. Serious as a heart attack.
Here is Moore looking end zone. Touchdown. Devon Bess. Third touchdown pass of the day for Matt Moore. That's 7 for the season. Ties a career high with his third touchdown strike. And Terrence McGee of the Bills adding to what has been a horrible first half for Buffalo, not in terms only in terms of the score, but also a lot of guys are getting whacked around. A host of injuries adding to the list for the Bills. Good job by Daniel Thomas picking up the blitz from Bird.
Yeah, keep an eye on Daniel Thomas. He does a really nice job. He's going to pick up the blitz by Bird coming off the edge. And this is really where he's gotten better. He gives Matt Moore plenty of time to sit in there and make a good throw to Devon Bess. It's good alert play by the rookie. Almost. Get a good look at Matt Moore. See Brian Dable there, the offensive coordinator. He's pretty fired up. It hasn't been easy for Brian Dable. He started the season with Chad Henne. Chad Henne goes out with a shoulder separation. He's got a free agent quarterback in Matt Moore, who he didn't have the benefit of working with in the offseason. Didn't get many reps in training camp, and now he's played really well here the last 3 weeks. I think this is an unbelievable opportunity, Marv. It doesn't come around very often for a quarterback like Matt Moore. He's got these next 6 weeks to continue to show that he can be the quarterback here in Miami.
How about the stat line? 11 of 14, 148 yards and 3 touchdowns for Matt Moore in his 5th season out of Oregon State. 4 years with Carolina. He did start 13 games with the Panthers, signed as a free agent with Miami last July. And once again, it's always a bad sign when you see the card.
No, it's not good, and we're seeing another air cast, and this has just been an awful day for this Buffalo team. And
looking ahead, the Bills have the Jets next week at the Jets. They lost to the Jets in Buffalo 2 weeks ago. And then they're home for Tennessee at San Diego. And home games against Miami and Denver. They finish up at New England on the 1st of January. So after a remarkable start by Buffalo, they go 3-0, 4-1, including the victory over the Patriots that stopped the 15-game losing streak. They have had huge problems, and they're trailing here with Shane Graham putting it through. It is now a 28-3 lead for Tony Sparano and his Miami Dolphins. 28 straight points for the Dolphins.
It's the most American game played. When we graduate, we'll be on the same team, but when we're on that field, we do not like each other.
They're there for a special reason. It's not just about the football.
That's a Game of Honor premiering December the 21st only on Showtime, and a special behind-the-scenes look December 3rd on CBS. Rich, in your days at Delaware for the Blue Hens, did you play Navy at all?
We did, actually. We played them 3 times. I played them as a freshman, and of course we played them twice. Once at our place and once down there. And I just have a great deal of respect for all men and women in our service academies. They do such a great job, and that's always a game that I look forward to each and every year.
Brad Smith, C.J. Spiller back for the kickoff with a minute and a half remaining in this first half. Spiller straight ahead, reaching across the 20-yard line. I must say, and I know that you did make your way to the cafeteria. Is that right? At the Naval Academy?
I did have
Check
it
it out.
in the mess hall. Had a chance to
Right. Mess hall is the correct phrase.
eat with the midshipmen.
Well, several naval officers happened to tell me in recent years they are still upset about the huge portions of food that you personally would engulf, and they said, leave him alone. He's the quarterback.
That's right.
Okay.
You know what they say, if it's free, it's for me, Marv.
I've heard you mention that in the past. Buffalo only 91 yards total offense. Fitzpatrick able to rifle it for a first down across the 40, connecting with Brad Smith. He took a shot earlier, was a question mark, looked like he was slow to get up. First down at the 41.
I don't really recognize this Buffalo offense. You look at touchdowns the last 9 quarters, and then you look at the last 5 possessions that the Buffalo Bills have had here today. They've all ended in 3 and outs. They've not been good enough on first down, an area where they've been as good as anybody in football.
How about Miami? They have not allowed a touchdown in almost 2.5 games. Fitzpatrick finding the open receiver. Again, it's Smith at midfield. It is a first down with 50 seconds to play in the half. Buffalo just trying to get something up on the board after the 28 consecutive points here by the Dolphins. Again, it's Smith on the throw from Fitzpatrick. Picked up a 5. Clock is running. Buffalo used its 3 timeouts. Fitzpatrick sliding for another first down.
Well, he's going to clock it right here and maybe get one more shot.
Well, another spike to stop it at 9 seconds left.
You know how important Friday practices are, Marv. You and I talk about them every week. And when we went out and watched the Dolphins on Friday, it didn't look like a 2-7 football team. The way they were flying around, guys were competing, having fun, even talking to Tony Sperano, the coaching staff. They believe in these players. I think that the locker room has been tight. They've worked. They've fought their way through some adversity, and now they're playing some pretty good football in the month of November.
Go Rocket, Rocket!
9 seconds remaining. First half, Fitzpatrick standing in. Trying to go sideline of Stevie Johnson. Down to 4 seconds remaining.
You look at the Bills in the last 2 games, they've been outscored 56-10 in the first half, and they've not started well. They've not played well offensively. The turnovers have been a big story. And on the flip side, defense has not been able to get off the field, and they've given up some big plays, not only in the ground, but in the passing game as well.
Dave Rayner will try from 56, his career high 55 last year as a member of Detroit. But first, Miami will call for time. I don't know if Chan Gailey is attempting to ice Dave Rayner. And you're talking about a 56-yard field goal. I don't know if you need any icing in this scenario.
How about Rayner's first kick ever as a Bill last week? It was a 53-yard attempt. And Chan Gailey said he felt pretty bad to put him in that situation. He said he wasn't being nice doing it.
Hit a 30 for the only Buffalo score. That was back in the first quarter. From 55. It is good. Dave Rayner in his 6th season out of Michigan State. Now they say officially 56. So that is a new career long for Rayner. And that's the end of the first half. Miami 28, Buffalo 6. We'll return with a Sprint halftime report after this and a message from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Welcome back to Miami, where the new-look Dolphins in command over the Buffalo Bills by the score of 28-6. And right here, let's take a look at the NFL mobile recap presented by Verizon. Matt Moore had a terrific first half connecting with tight end Anthony Fasano. This was early in the first, and this gave the Dolphins a 7-3 lead. Marv Albert with Rich Gannon, and you look back at that first half, complete domination by the Dolphins.
It really was, and they looked sharp on offense, defense. They got after Ryan Fitzpatrick, created some turnovers, something they haven't been able to do all season. Now, you know, Buffalo has been in this situation before, Marv. They've been behind by 3 scores. They found a way to come back and get themselves back in games, but they've got to get something going here early in the third quarter.
And to make things worse for Buffalo, they have been hammered by injuries to key players. In the first half, receiver Donald Jones out the rest of the way with the ankle. David Nelson, wide receiver, is questionable. They have not described what the injury is, and cornerback Terrence McGee with a leg problem out for the rest of the game.
Well, they're going to be in trouble. I mean, you'll have to see more of C.J. Spiller at wide receiver. Rubel Martin's going to have to play some more snaps, and Naaman Roosevelt as well, and that makes it difficult for Ryan Fitzpatrick.
For Miami, most points in a first half since back in September of 2002 against Detroit.
Well, the first half stats don't look good for Buffalo. Look at the turnovers, a big story. And 0 for 6 on third down. That's been a problem. And Miami has taken advantage of the field position and the turnovers. 14 points off of turnovers. And look like a different team to me offensively. They're mixing it up. They're getting both backs involved. And Matt Moore has really done a nice job taking care of the football.
This is also Miami's biggest halftime lead since December of 2000 in a game at Buffalo. Reggie Bush, the running back, as Matt Moore opens up out of the shotgun formation, gives to Bush. Bush puts the speed on. Bush running to the outside, has a first down. Stopped by the combination of Nick Barnett and Danaris Searcy.
Well, just look at the offensive line. You've got here's the center right here. You've got an unbalanced line. And that's unusual, and Buffalo doesn't make enough of an adjustment, and there's a big opportunity there for Reggie Bush.
Just getting started, third quarter. Bush picked up 11. Bush and Hilliard now lined up in the I formation. 1st and 10 at the 31-yard line. This is Bush again. Gang tackled. Stopped at the line by Searcy.
Well, the one thing that Tony Sperano told us about his quarterback, Matt Moore, is that he can move the team. He's kind of got that gunslinger mentality. I think he's gotten better with more practice reps, but he got it started with a touchdown to Fasano. He finds his fullback Clay, and he comes back for his 3rd touchdown throw of the day, a little in route to Devon Best. He has looked very comfortable back there in the pocket.
Charles Clay, the H-back, has checked in, and now he will spread wide to the right. There is Moore. Brandon Marshall. And that is his first catch. Made that catch in the back of the end zone late in the first half for what appeared to be a touchdown, but he bobbled it and lost it. Did not have possession out of bounds, so that was eradicated. It appears that Brandon Marshall, Rich, has been a decoy most of the way.
Well, yeah, he's not getting the big throws, and he gets frustrated at times. And I think he's got to continue to work on controlling his emotions and staying in the game mentally. He can't afford to lose his focus. That's where the drops begin to show up in his game.
3rd down and 5. Moore going deeper, and the ball was batted away from Marshall. It appeared he had it, and it was knocked away by Drayton Florence.
Well, 2 things jump out to me. First and foremost, the protection has been really good. You're going to see Brandon Marshall. Well, he's wide open in the middle of the field, and just you can't relax. Right at the end, you just got to be able to pull that one and keep coming back to the football. Drayton Florence makes a play, and Brandon Marshall doesn't anticipate him on the back shoulder.
Brandon Fields just did get that punt away, and it's a beauty. A backpedaling C.J. Spiller on the return. It was overrun and then recovered, taken down inside the 5-yard line. A 56-yard punt. Koa Missy on the tackle.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
Wide receiver David Nelson of the Bills, who was taken back to the locker room late in the first half, looking to get back into the action. We're told that he was not feeling well, but is giving it a shot. Buffalo, 1st and 10 from their 6. Little flip for Jackson. Jackson has been held in check to this point. Only 2 on the pickup. Tyrone Culver makes the stop.
Well, it started out good for Buffalo, 9 plays, 70 yards, but after that, not very good. 5 straight possessions in the first half that ended in three and outs. And you got a couple turnovers mixed in there, Marv. Not the type of production that we come to expect from a Chan Gailey coached offense.
And 6 of those 8 drives started inside their own 20. 2nd down play for Fitzpatrick. He completes, has a 1st down with the tight end, Scott Chandler. Kevin Burnett able to catch him. It's a 19-yard pickup.
Well, all I could think about was my fantasy report. Yes. I said, play Scott Chandler today. He's got 21 catches coming into today's game. 6 of them have gone for touchdowns. He's a big target for Ryan Fitzpatrick in the middle of the field.
People may now actually pay attention to your fantasy picks.
I was dying to say that.
Usually you go with the chalk. Scott Chandler.
Scotty Chandler.
1st down at the 28-yard line. Fitzpatrick in trouble. It's David Nelson. He tried to stiff arm his way and picked up a yard.
Well, there's been so much change around Ryan Fitzpatrick this week. You think about this change at center to Andy Levitre. He doesn't have his Eric Wood in there. Then you got the change to left tackle position with the rookie Chris Hairston. He's had some injuries. Doesn't have Donald Jones. David Nelson has missed time. That affects the quarterback in a big way. See, he's telling the offensive line who the mic is, who we're going to block. He's having to do more of the work now because we have a new center.
2nd down and 10 from the 28. And he loops one to the far side. It's out of bounds, and it was broken up, intended for Stevie Johnson, covered by Vontae Davis.
Oh, Miami's defense has really played well in the first half. Did a nice job bottling up Fred Jackson. He's been a non-factor so far, just 7 rushes for 17 yards, and the big interception by Carroll. Jeremiah Bell has made some big plays in the secondary. Of course, he's right here in the position to make the interception. They've done a nice job taking the ball away on defense.
Stevie Johnson flanked wide to the left. Brad Smith to the right. Fitzpatrick from the shotgun. Bad snap. It is dropped. The question is, was it complete on a fumble? Nelson not able to hang on, and Jeremiah Bell took advantage, and it is called a catch and a fumble by Nelson, allowing Bell to pick it up and run down the sideline, setting up a 1st and goal for Miami on a 31-yard scamper off the fumble recovery.
Well, it starts with a bad snap. We've seen a lot of them low to the left. That was kind of the MO this week on Levitri. Ryan Fitzpatrick tries to fit one in there, and boy, look at Jeremiah Bell. I don't know that he ever had control, but boy, they're really hitting him in the secondary. I think he's still trying to get control of it, and that ball's down low. I don't think that's going to be a catch. You see Changeli right there with the challenge flag.
Buffalo is challenging the ruling on the field of an interception.
So they'll check it out upstairs as you take another look. Jeremiah Bell has had a strong game, able to make the strip, but they'll check it out.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Geico, where 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by Walmart. Save money, live better. Walmart.
A look at the sunny portion of Miami. It's like a shot of South Beach. And here's the call on that challenge.
After reviewing the play, the receiver never had control of the ball. It's an incomplete pass. It'll be 4th and 10 at the 28-yard line. Buffalo will not be charged a timeout. Please reset the clock to 10-17. 10-17.
Well, this defense has been flying around, making a lot of plays on the ball, something they've not done a lot of coming into today's game. And Jeremiah Bell, Carlos Dansby right there, making these receivers pay for trying to make a catch. Jeremiah Bell, the leading tackler for this Miami defense. He's made a lot of plays at or around the scrimmage and in the secondary as well.
Unofficially 3 tackles, an interception, a pass defended. 4th down and 10. So Mormon has come on for the punt. Oh, look at it, it's blocked! The punt block ends up in the end zone. Touchdown, Buffalo. I should say touchdown, Miami.
Okay.
There are actually 2 Miami players who had a shot at it. Chris Clemens.
Well, he's going to make the block right on right on the line of scrimmage. He makes the block. Chris Clemens, and then in the end zone, Lex Hilliard's going to come up with it. Well, that just kills you if you're Buffalo. You're not getting it done on offense. You're not getting it done on defense. And now you get a punt block in the kicking game.
Well, Shane Graham reports to the Dolphins yesterday and has to be saying, hey, this is pretty good. Getting many opportunities for extra points. Chris Clemens, 3-year man out of Clemson, with the emphatic block leading to another Miami touchdown. Lots of heroes for the Dolphins this afternoon. There's one of them, Chris Clemens, coming up with the first punt blocked by Miami and returned for a touchdown since back in 1990, and they did it against the Patriots. Brad Smith with the return for the Bills. Brought down by Marvin Mitchell, 23-yard return out. Last time punter Brian Mormon had a punt block. September 2002, the Jets did it in the 4th quarter, scored a field goal on the next drive. And Buffalo will meet up with the Jets in the Meadowlands next Sunday. We'll be there for that one. Jets hoping to bounce back from the loss in Denver on Thursday night. 35-6 Miami. Certainly taking on the look of what took place as Stevie Johnson makes the catch. What took place last week in Dallas, where Buffalo was blown out 44-7.
Yeah, it doesn't feel good, I can tell you that. More having gone through it myself. And you know, if you're Chan Gailey or Ryan Fitzpatrick, Andy Levici, all you can do is just stay in the moment. Just try and find ways to make first downs, to score some points. Don't worry about the score. Just worry about putting together some good drives here in the second half.
First down at the 30. As Fitzpatrick is able to complete to the tight end, Scott Chandler picked up 7. Buffalo's remaining schedule, we mentioned, at the Jets next week, and home for Tennessee, at San Diego, followed by home games against Miami and Denver, and they finish up against the Patriots in New England on the 1st of January. So after that glorious start of 3-0 and 4-1, Buffalo looking at 5-5 unless there is a dramatic comeback. And as I say that, it's a fumble, but it appears that Buffalo has recovered. Fred Jackson, who has had some fumble difficulties recently after very rarely fumbling, coughed it up, and it was recovered by Chandler.
Yeah, this isn't something we typically see between Ryan Fitzpatrick and Fred Jackson. It just slips out of Ryan's hands. He's trying to seat that ball and put it in the stomach of Fred Jackson. Really a nice alert play here by the tight end, falling on that football. Nice play by Chandler.
That was fumbled. Ryan Fitzpatrick on a bad snap did well to hold on to it. Picked up 3 on the play. That previous play ends up in a first down with the fumble recovered by Chandler.
Well, you look at the snap, and this is a tough one to handle. It always seems like when you get behind in games down here in Florida, it starts to pour. And poor Andy Levici, he started at guard, he's played tackle, now he's playing center for the first time in a torrential downpour.
We have seen intermittent showers.
Hey, hard.
That means on and off.
Yeah, this is tough. Tough on the quarterback, tough on the center.
Fitzpatrick able to complete on a hard hit. Damon Roosevelt out of the University of Buffalo makes his first catch of the day. Take a listen to this hit by Jeremiah Bell.
Now, sometimes you can just hear a good hit. You don't have to see it. And that's what you get from Jeremiah Bell. He's made a lot of big plays in the secondary today for the Dolphins.
Buffalo first down at the Miami 38. Fitzpatrick off the roll. And another hard hit. Scott Chandler able to hang on at the 30-yard line. Picked up 8. Kevin Burnett making the stop.
Well, they're knocking helmets off, and this has been fun to watch. You got linebackers, Kevin Burnett flying around, Jeremiah Bell.
Fun to watch if you're sitting up here and you're not in Buffalo.
If you like good defense, you like physical play, this is what you're seeing out of the Miami Dolphins secondary.
Second down and 2 at the 30, coming up on 6 minutes left, third quarter. Fitzpatrick throwing deep for Johnson, and a flag is down. He was covered by Vontae Davis, the right corner.
This might be on Stevie Johnson.
Number 21, defense. Ball will be placed at the spot of the foul, first down.
Well, you can see the isolation. Stevie Johnson matched up on Vontae Davis, and no, not much there.
Little slap to the helmet as they started to move down the field.
Talking about the play of the two corners. The safeties have actually played pretty good football this year, but the two corners, Vontae Davis and Sean Smith, have struggled a little bit this year in man-to-man coverage.
First down for Buffalo at the Miami 15. Here's Fitzpatrick. They thought they had him. He kept going, working his way inside the 15-yard line. James Odrick able to get to Fitzpatrick. James Odrick last Sunday against Washington broke out his Pee Wee Herman sack dance. Not usually appreciated by the opposition. In fact, teammate Jason Taylor, one-time contestant on Dancing with the Stars, did have the word embarrassing slip into his analysis. Fitzpatrick is sacked. And it is Odrick. And there it is. We advise people look away from the television screen. Even teammates have said, hey, Jared, I don't think we want to see that. The Pee Wee Herman sack dance. Paul Rubens would be so proud.
Yeah, he's just going to beat the left tackle, the rookie Chris Harrison, around the edge and gives him that bull rush initially. Ryan Fitzpatrick has nowhere to go with it. They've done a much better job here the last couple of weeks with pressure off the edge. If it's not been Odrick, it's been Jason Taylor.
3rd and 19. Off the pop, flag down. Fred Jackson made the stop, but a penalty marker is down. I should say made the catch and then picked up 4, but a marker is thrown.
There's no foul on the play for 2 forward passes. The first was a fumble, and then the second one was a forward pass.
So that first obviously was released.
Yeah, it slips out of his hands as he's trying to cock it back. Right there, clearly it comes out ahead of time, and now he does the next best thing. He just tries to get rid of it. Unfortunately, Fred Jackson's there to, on the other end, to catch it.
Can't do that in one play. I thought he pumped. I did not see it come out of his hand.
Please reset the play clock to 40. Please reset the play clock to 40.
Fourth down, 14 at the 19-yard line. Dolphins up 35-6. Now Johnny White, rookie from North Carolina, has come on for the first time as Buffalo goes for it. Fitzpatrick running out of the pocket. Look out. Stripped of the football. And it will be Miami back in possession. Jason Taylor, 15-year veteran, 37 years of age, with the hit and the strip. There it is.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by the Miller Lite Home Draft. Taste greatness. And by Viagra.
I'll look at Jason Taylor back as a member of the Dolphins, 6-time Pro Bowler. Spent time with the Jets and the Redskins. Loves being back in Miami. Said he has only nice things to say about Rex Ryan and the Jets. He loved his time there.
Yeah, it's good for him to be back in Miami. We came down here one time and played, and he sacked me in the first 2 plays of the game.
Big opening for Daniel Thomas. Sacked you on the first 2, huh? There was no Pee Wee Herman dance, though, at that time. All right, we have an update. Let's go to JB and Coach Bill Cowher.
Nip and tuck in Baltimore.
Oh, you got to be impressed with Cincinnati. Back-to-back weeks. Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Cedric Benson, second touchdown of the day, 3 yards out. And Cincinnati putting up a big fight in Baltimore, down 17-14.
That capped a 7-play, 80-yard drive. Marv Albert, Rich Gannon.
All right, JB, Reggie Bush, Lex Hilliard now in the backfield, lined up in an offset I. More on the roll. That pass too low, intended for Bush in the right flat. 3.5 remaining third quarter. And Miami with a 35-6 lead over Buffalo. We're set for yet another update. Here's JB.
What has gotten into Detroit?
Second half, unbelievable, JB. 14 unanswered points. This Tony Schlutt for a 17-yard touchdown pass. In Detroit, takes the lead, 28-27.
Stafford, second half numbers, 5 of 6, 73 yards and 2 touches. Back to Marv and Rich.
JB, head coach Bill Cowher, filling us in as Matt Moore shuffles to Reggie Bush. Like he stumbled, lost his balance, and is taken down behind the line by the nose tackle Marcel Darius.
You know, it took them a while to figure out how to use Reggie Bush, and talking to Brian Dable a little bit on Friday. And they want to get him on the edge of a defense, outside on those on the perimeter where he can use kind of his speed and quickness, the off-tackle runs, the tosses, the sweeps, the screen game where he can be effective, and done a much better job of it in the last month.
A loss on the play of 4. It's a 3rd and 14. Moore is 12 of 17, 3 touchdowns. Short range to Bush. Wrestled out of bounds, and a little pushing and shoving. Drayton Florence, Harris Bird getting involved with Reggie Bush. 7-yard advance. Miami on its way to a 3rd straight win after losing their first 7. They have not won 3 in a row since back in 2008. 4th punt of the day for Brandon Fields. C.J. Spiller back at his 20-yard line. A booming punt once again. You see Spiller backpedaling. Finding running room to the 30. Able to stay in bounds on a spin. What a beautiful return out to midfield by C.J. Spiller, the second-year player out of Clemson. Austin Spittler finally got to him. 59-yard punt and a 45-yard return. This is the kind of day it has been for Buffalo.
Yeah, just too many mistakes, Marv. You look at the interceptions, the fumbles, the pressure on Ryan Fitzpatrick, and then they have a punt blocked as well. And they just can't go on the road and do that and expect to have success.
Johnny White back in the Bills' backfield. Changeli looking to take a peek at the rookie from North Carolina. That pass intended for Scott Chandler.
You got to be frustrated if you're Changeli and you look at that play sheet and you're behind 35-6, and first and foremost you want to make sure you keep your quarterback healthy. The last thing you want to do is have Ryan Fitzpatrick get hurt in a situation like this. A lot of changes, a lot of new players along that offensive line in different positions, which has affected the protection.
2nd down and 10 for the Bills from midfield. Time for Fitzpatrick. Completes to Roosevelt. Naaman Roosevelt making his 2nd catch. With that injury to Roscoe Parrish, Roosevelt earlier this season was promoted from the practice squad. Well, you can stay in the game all season long with the NFL's new selection of mobile apps. Get unparalleled access to stats, fantasy news, video, and more. Go to NFL.com/mobile. C.J. Spiller returning to the backfield with a minute left. 3rd quarter. Fitzpatrick being chased and throws it away. Langford putting the pressure on. Fred Jackson, 8 carries, 17 yards for the leading rusher in the NFL. But when Buffalo fell behind early, Bills obviously go to a passing game. So not much for Jackson.
That's the problem. He's their best offensive player, Marv. If he can't run it, you got to find a way to still get him the ball in space. They have not done a good job getting Fred Jackson involved.
2nd down and 10. Oh, nice catch made by Chandler to the 10, 5. And then taken out of bounds by Rashad Jones, the free safety.
Well, we had some fun with Chan Gailey earlier in the year, and I said, you don't really throw it to the tight ends much. He said, keep an eye on our guy, Scott Chandler. And he runs pretty good routes for a tight end who's 6'7", and you can see him get separation and run right away from Sean Smith.
31-yard pass play. Chandler in his 3rd season out of Iowa, originally a 4th-round draft pick of San Diego. This is 2nd year with Buffalo. It's a 1st and goal. Inside handoff to Spiller. And he is just short of the goal line. And that will probably do it for this 3rd quarter with the Dolphins in front of the Bills 35-6. It has been a game of a number of big hits, most at the expense of the Bills. A look at the line score. Miami with that 35-6 lead. 4th quarter about to get underway. And Buffalo with a 2nd and goal, inches away. They have C.J. Spiller and the fullback Corey McIntyre in the backfield. Fred Jackson, we're told, back in the locker room. Here is Spiller. 40 had the opening, but is hit back. Looked like he had the space, but stopped by the combination of Kevin Burnett and Vontae Davis.
I don't know if C.J. Spiller just eases up in the hole or he doesn't anticipate a big hit from Vontae Davis and Kevin Burnett, but boy, he's surprised by Burnett, I think, and even Vontae Davis. Got to find a way to get that one in.
Sets it back a couple of inches. 3rd and goal at the 1. Miami not allowing a touchdown in 11 plus quarters as Ryan Fitzpatrick on a botched snap looked to cover things up.
And these are the ones you have to really be careful with a new center. He's got a lot of congestion in front of him. It's a crowded space. It's a tough block. And you're so concerned about getting your hands up that you short the ball to the quarterback.
The ball is now at the 1. 4th and goal at the 1. Bills go with an empty backfield. Looking for their first touchdown of the day, and they do not get it. Intended for Steve Johnson, but a penalty marker is thrown.
Probably going to be on C.J. Spiller for a pick.
There was no offensive pass interference. The block occurred within a yard of the line of scrimmage. Pass is incomplete. 1st down, Miami.
There's another look. You see Stevie Johnson putting a series of moves on. It has not been a pleasant day for wide receiver Stevie Johnson among many of his teammates. Johnson, we're told, has been thrown to 8 times. He's made only 1 catch. He came in with a sore shoulder. He was a question mark. Miami takes over near its goal line, and Daniel Thomas is turned back. Let's see where they place it. That might be a safety. Did he get out of the end zone?
Yeah, I don't think he did, huh?
It's a safety. 2 points picked up by the Bills appear to be Terrell Troop and Kelvin Shepard stopping the rookie Daniel Thomas.
Well, they get penetration. You're going to see Shepard come right in here. Now he makes the first hit. Thomas is doing everything he can to get that ball back over the line of scrimmage, and then his buddies rally and hold him back. Penetration is what gets it done. Nice job taking on the fullback, Lex Hilliard. Very nice play by the linebacker, Kelvin Shepard.
So the Bills with their first safety since back in December of 2007, a game in Washington, and now we'll see a free kick. Buffalo not able to score a touchdown. They have 2 field goals, and now the safety. Early moments of the fourth quarter. Marv Albert, Rich Gannon. As we have seen, the Miami Dolphins get right to it. Again, a slow start for the Bills. They've had all kinds of difficulties, including a host of injuries. I mentioned Fred Jackson is back in the locker room, which is extremely bad news for Buffalo, and now he's limped his way back onto the field. There's Fred. And the punter, Brandon Fields, with that free kick. Spiller on the return. Spiller tried to hurdle the defender. Went over Brian Hartline, but he was tripped up. 14-yard return. Hey, Thursday on CBS, CYTV Guide calls Person of Interest a must-see mystery. Emmy winner Michael Emerson and Jim Caviezel star of the new hit drama Person of Interest, Thursday only CBS. Looked like Spiller took a pretty good shot, number 28.
Boy, they're getting beat up pretty good here. You look at all the injuries that they've had to key people, skill people. Now you got Johnny White in the game.
White, a rookie from North Carolina. Bad snap again, and you can see the two-handed flip by Fitzpatrick just to get rid of the football, getting it to Johnny White.
See Brian Hartline and makes the play, and C.J. Spiller comes down awkwardly on that left knee. The top 2 running backs, Fred Jackson and C.J. Spiller, both on the sidelines watching.
Bills lost 3 on that play. It'll be a 2nd and 13. And it's dropped. Dropped by White.
Well, you got to make these catches, but in watching Ryan Fitzpatrick today, Marv, he's missed a number of throws high. And I think he's gotten a little careless, a little sloppy with his footwork. I think he's been frustrated with the fact that he's had to reach for a lot of low snaps, but he has not looked comfortable today. Look at that, 10 drop balls by Buffalo receivers.
The numbers on Fitzpatrick, 20 of 38, 209 yards. He's been intercepted twice. Now throws sideline, and it is dropped, but a penalty flag is down. Stevie Johnson looked to make the catch. The ball was jarred loose, but a flag, it might be because Johnson was defenseless and will be called on Miami.
Personal foul, hit on a defenseless receiver, number 29 of the defense, 15 yards from the previous spot, first down.
Called on the free safety, Tyrone Culver.
Well, part of this is on Culver, and I think part of it is on the quarterback. Your job is to look out in front of throws. You've got to protect these receivers. And that is a nasty hit, and that will definitely result in some type of fine from the commissioner. You cannot hit players like that. A defenseless receiver, you're going to really hurt someone. That's unfortunate from Tyrone Culver.
And unfortunate for Stevie Johnson, who took a jarring shot.
And he's just trying to tough it out. I mean, he didn't practice on Wednesday, didn't practice on Thursday, did very little work on Friday with that injured shoulder, and he's taken a number of hellacious hits here today by the secondary.
First down at the 33-yard line, and Spiller takes the handoff. You can see how careful Ryan Fitzpatrick is when he receives the snap. He has no idea, Rich, what's coming his way.
Well, you're just not certain. And, you know, I don't want to be too critical of Andy Levitre. He's a really good left guard. He's had to go out and bounce and play the left tackle position. He was really put in a difficult position. And he's been an unselfish player, willing to go in there and play center. And that's not an easy job. You've got to make all the calls in the running game and the protection. You've got to deal with adjustments late. You see him with his head up. He's trying to make all the calls. And then you got to worry about the play clock and getting the snap to Ryan Fitzpatrick, who spent most of his time today in the shotgun.
In the gun again, and throws it away. Shane Gailey telling us last night that there's no question Andy Levitre is their best interior lineman. He has moved over from left guard. Shan Reinhart has moved to left guard. Craig Urbick is the right guard. Eric Piers, the right tackle. Then you have a guy who's playing only his third NFL start, Chris Hairston, rookie from Clemson, starting for the injured Demetrius Bell.
Well, you think about Levitre moving from left guard to left tackle. That's like me moving from analyst to play-by-play. I mean, it's not an easy thing to do.
See, that's different. I think you'd slip right in here. You would be effortless. Bad snap again. And Fitzpatrick is spun around and taken down. Third sack for Miami.
Well, they've got to make some decisions. They have the Jets this week, Marvin. Do they bring in a different center this week, or do they move the right guard, Craig Urbick, into center and put Levitre back at guard?
You know, often numbers on third down don't have any meaning because sometimes it could be third and long, it could be third and short, but Buffalo is 0 for third downs. They're 0 for 10 here today. Mormon with the punt. Bess on the return, breaks a tackle, and now down he goes at the 25. It's a 54-yard punt and just a 7-yard return. Garrison Sanborn, who's been excellent on special teams, with another tackle.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by K Jewelers, the #1 jewelry store in America. Every kiss begins with K. The Philips Norelco Senso Touch 3D, a great shave, dry or wet with gel or foam. And by the Droid Razor, thin is no longer frail, only at Verizon.
Marv Albert, Rich Gannon, we're in Miami. Dolphins in a rout of the Bills. Miami back in possession. Here's Bush trying to get to the outside. Stopped at the line by Aaron Williams. Oh, we see Craig Urbick now practicing his snaps, so we might see a change. Urbick, similar to Levitre, has not had much experience.
But he's the right guard. Now you got to ask yourself, does Levitre go to right guard, or do they move Reinhart from left guard over the right guard and Levitre go back to left guard? It's like musical chairs every time you've got a switch along that offensive line.
Second down and 10. Moore took a long look and then slides up to the 28, met by Darius. Well, the Dolphins' last division home victory came back in Week 13 of 2009 against New England, trailing by 8 points late in the third. So Chad Henne connecting with Brian Hartline. The touchdown, minute left, and Carpenter booted a 41-yard field goal, and Channing Crowder's interception wrapped it up. 22-21 victory for the Bills over the Patriots. Daniel Thomas in the backfield. It's a 3rd and 8 at the 27. And that is incomplete. Hit the ground as Hartline made the attempt on it.
Marv, you were talking about the last time they've had a home home win in the division, and they've got a home field advantage. This used to be a difficult place to come play, but they've had a difficult time winning here at home. You think about that win last week. That was their first home win in almost an entire year. You have to go back to November 14th of 2010. They beat the Tennessee Titans.
Why would this be, aside from the fact that Miami has had some very good teams in the past, why would this be a difficult
the
place
heat,
to play?
I mean, you come down here in September, you die, and even in October, November, you get some very warm Sundays.
Spiller gets across the 20. See, I thought you'd say too much time out of the pool.
Or too much time at South Beach,
yeah.
You're right.
64-yard punt, wow. 15-yard return.
Cause I feel so awesome. How you feel? I guess that's awesome. Wanna roll? Well, let's go. Hands in the sky.
Introducing HTC Resound. Get studio quality sound for music and HD video at Verizon 4G LTE speed. The first smartphone with Beats audio and Beats headphones included, exclusively at Verizon.
You say it with a broken string, tell me what you really mean. Do you know what you want? Well, beating up yesterday, I was on my rollerblades, rolling on.
The newest member of the Prius family has the space of a small SUV and more ways to connect to your world. The all-new Prius V from Toyota. More Prius, more possibilities.
Wow. It's a great HD TV. Don't speak. I'll just leave you two alone.
Black Friday's here. Deals start Thursday 10 p.m. More electronics start at midnight. And we're open all day and night, so you don't have to wait outside. Walmart.
My name is Marjorie Reyes, and I'm a Chief Warrant Officer. I love the fact that Quicken Loans provides VA loans. Quicken Loans understood the details and guided me through every step of the process. I know wherever the military sends me, I can depend on Quicken Loans.
Monday, this guy has a lot to be thankful for.
You want 250,000 frequent flyer miles? I can't use them. I got a plane.
I want 250,000 anything.
This guy, not so much.
Stolen crystal, huh? I'll give you $1,200.
Yes! 2.5 men.
I'll give you $2 to clean it up.
New episode Thanksgiving Monday.
Well, Tyler Thigpen has come on for Ryan Fitzpatrick. This game well out of reach. Thigpen making his first appearance as a member of the Bills, and the Bills have made a change at center. Craig Urbik is now the center, and Andy Levitri moves over to right guard. Thigpen's pass off the mark, intended for Johnny White.
There's a picture you don't want to see if you're a Bills fan. You see Ryan Fitzpatrick, he's done for the day. I think that's the right decision. And then you see that right leg of Fred Jackson wrapped, and that's unfortunate. He just had a quiet day. 8 carries, 17 yards. Look at
Fitzpatrick, 20 of 39, 209 yards, and picked off twice. And Thigpen's pass is batted down. Tyler Thigpen, a one-time member of the Kansas City Chiefs and the Miami Dolphins, played his first 3 years with Kansas City. In fact, back in 2008, started 11 games, threw 18 touchdowns out of Coastal Carolina in his 5th NFL season. And a look at Craig Urbik, and Levitri apparently has moved off to the left side, back to his normal position, left guard, and Chad Reinhardt has switched from left guard to right guard, for those of you scoring at home. Thigpen trying to run out of trouble, and that is tipped and incomplete. 3 and out for Tyler Thigpen and the Bills. We're down to 8:54 remaining in this fourth quarter. Miami jumping in front early. They had 14 points in the first quarter. Talked earlier about Ryan Fitzpatrick saying that Guys have been getting down because they have fallen behind early in games, and it was the same formula here this afternoon.
Yeah, too many mistakes early. The turnover was absolutely killer.
Best plays the high hop. Best with running room. That's across midfield. 46-yard punt, 20-yard return. It'll be a long plane ride back to Western New York for Ryan Fitzpatrick and the Bills.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Toyota. And by Subway. Try November's featured $5 footlong chicken marinara melt.
Rain has stopped here in South Florida. Beautiful 81-degree day as we come up on 4 p.m. here in the east. Daniel Thomas carrying for Miami, picked up a couple. Coming up next, the NFL on CBS, rolling on to the Windy City as the Chargers face the Bears, or the Titans take on the Falcons. Check your local listings.
Two teams going in opposite directions. You think about the Chargers, they've lost 4 in a row, and the Bears have won 4 in a row, and they've done it by playing great defense and running the ball with Matt Forte. Mike Martz has figured it out. Hand the ball to Matt Forte.
Second down and 8. Play action. Caught by Charles Clay. Miami with 35 points, the most points they have scored since back in October 2009 against Buffalo. The quarterback at the time was Chad Henne.
Well, a complete effort. You think about how well Matt Moore has played. 3 touchdowns again today, 14 of 20. A nice job taking care of the football defensively. They've created turnovers in field position. And when you score on special teams, boy, that's a complete effort by your football team.
3rd down and 7. Daniel Thomas and Lex Hilliard in the backfield. Thomas. Picked up about 3, met by Kirk Morrison.
It's not as if the Dolphins have had a 500-yard offensive performance. And it's just 229 yards. But boy, they've made every series count. And of course, the defense, Marv, has been a big story today. Miami has really laid the wood to this Buffalo offense.
Punting unit comes on. Brandon Fields will boot it for the 6th time with C.J. Spiller back at his 10. This time gets the hang time and a fair catch handled by Spiller. 36-yarder. Coming up, time permitting, after the game, the NFL Today update presented by Verizon. Join JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Bill Cowher for all the latest NFL scores and highlights. Ryan Fitzpatrick and his Bills will drop to 5-5 and a tie with the New York Jets.
Well, you look at those numbers since signing that contract extension, not good for Ryan Fitzpatrick. Completion percentage down, yards per game, the more interceptions than touchdowns, and it's not all been him, but I can tell you this, we've talked about, Marv, they fall behind on games. He takes some unnecessary risk, and they've turned the ball over way too much in the last 5 games.
Now, early in the season, they would fall behind, but they had those 2 comebacks against Oakland and New England. Johnny White getting the call. Picked up 2 on the play. They opened up the season 3-0 and 4-1. Had that dazzling win at home against New England after losing 15 straight to the Patriots. Came from way back against the Raiders, but they have, coming into today, lost 3 of the last 4, including the blowout last week in Dallas. Thick patterns come on for Fitzpatrick and miscommunication there.
I mean, you know, the timing and the rhythm today in the passing game, to me, it hasn't looked right. And I know that the snaps have been an issue and the protection, but boy, you just look at the quarterbacks and in terms of their footwork, the timing, just that we don't seem like the receivers and the quarterbacks have been on the same page.
Checking the flag.
Pass interference, number 83, offense, penalties decline, 3rd down.
Well, it's called on the backup tight end, Mike Casson. Look at Miami last season, 7-9. They had 2 straight years at 7-9 after going 11-5, making the playoffs under Tony Sparano. It was back in 2008 as he turned it from that 1-15 season. Let's talk about a coaching change for this year. In fact, the owner of the Dolphins, Stephen Ross, did go after Jim Harbaugh, who ended up with the 49ers. That worked out pretty well. Stevie Johnson makes the catch. And Rashad Jones with the tackle, and Sparano was signed to a new contract.
Well, he's in a tough position. They're playing better football, but I don't know if it'll be enough. I mean, if they run the table and finish 9-7, does Tony Sparano stick around in Miami? I'm not so sure he does.
In a very busy day for Brian Moorman. This is 7th punt. Devon Bess trapped and nowhere to go. 55-yard punt. Well, the Dolphins' last 3-game win streak back in 2008. They actually won 5 in a row, capped off in week 17 against the Jets. Saw that interception of a Brett Favre pass. Anthony Fasano with the 20-yard reception for the go-ahead. And a little Gatorade attack on Sparano, and a new quarterback for Miami, the former Buffalo Bill, J.P. Losman, making his Miami debut. Originally a 1st-round pick of Buffalo, spent 5 years with the Bills, made 33 starts, and then moved on to Oakland, Seattle, and now Miami. Hands it off to Bush.
Well, we've been talking, Marv, about the problems Miami has had over the years, and I think this tells the story right here. You know, I always say it's tough to win when you have so much turnover at the most important position on your football team. Look at that, 13 different starting quarterbacks since 2004. It seems like every 6 to 8 weeks we get a new one here in Miami. And we don't have production and consistency at the quarterback position, you don't win.
But once again today, Matt Moore was outstanding. Reggie Bush tried to go to his left. He has not been able to get going, but they did not need his running early, particularly with the success of Moore. Kirk Morrison makes the stop.
Yeah, Matt Moore has been really good. And you go back and you look at him the last 3 weeks. He had an outstanding day against the Chiefs. Thought he played probably his best game of his career up to that point. And then last week I thought he was outstanding. Played really good against the Redskins. Just a couple mistakes. And then today, 3 touchdowns, high completion percentage. And as we talked to him on Friday, if he can just eliminate the 1 or 2 poor decisions each week, this guy could be a really good player in this league.
Can't you say that about a number of quarterbacks?
Yeah, but that's what this position is all about. I mean, you can go out and you can have 60 snaps. 57 of them can be just perfect, just how you drew up. But 3 of them are poor decisions at a critical time, and it cost your team a chance to win a football game. And that's the nature of the business. Now, you and I could be up here for 3.5 hours doing a great broadcast. And on 2 plays, I could get somebody's name wrong, and it's no good. I mean, this is the world we live in. And at that position, there's a very small margin for error. And Matt Moore, I think, has begun to figure that out.
You know, I feel you're really putting the pressure on me now.
I like how I always bring it back to the broadcast group.
I notice. you've forgotten your roots. Daniel Thomas picked up the first down. Here's Thomas again as we come up on 2 minutes remaining in the game.
I'm always happy for young players, and I'm really happy for Matt Moore. You know, it didn't work out for him in Carolina. Last year, they bring in Jimmy Clausen, they draft him, and this year they go ahead and make the #1 pick for Cam Newton. He's found himself a new home in Miami.
2 minutes remaining in the game. All Dolphins, 35-8. Now to 2 minutes remaining in the game. J.P. Losman has come on for Matt Moore. Or a hesitation move by Reggie Bush. It's like an effort to build some of Reggie's stats here as he is stopped by Justin Rogers. Picked up just a yard. Look at this stat. The Miami Dolphins, the third team in the history of the league to win 3 straight games after starting a season at 0-7. The 1978 St. Louis Cardinals went 6-10. The 1986 Colts 3-13.
Well, this is a resilient bunch here in Miami. You know, Tony Soprano's not going to let these players get down on themselves. The effort has been outstanding, and now they finally have put it together here the last 3 weeks.
Daniel Thomas, the ball carrier for Miami after losing their first 7, 3 straight wins. First 3-game win streak since back in 2008. They go to 3-7 with the Cowboys coming up Thursday, Thanksgiving Day at Dallas and here on CBS. So a very short week. The Bills dropped to 5-5. They have lost 3 in a row, 4 of the last 5. They're now a game and a half behind New England and tied with the Jets, who they meet next week at the Meadowlands. After starting the season at 4-1, they have lost 4 of their last 5 as they look ahead to next Sunday at the Jets.
First team
timeout called
Miami.
by Miami.
30-second time.
And Miami has done a terrific job defensively. Fewer than 10 points allowed in 3 straight games for the first time since 1990. You know, publicity director Harvey Green, who I think contributes to most paper used during the course of a season.
That's right.
Is going to have to revamp the entire franchise record book with all that has taken place here today.
Yeah, his staff will be busy at work. We know on Monday morning Harvey does such a great job, and you talk about people do a great job. We've been talking about the defense. Mike Nolan, defensive coordinator. They don't give him a lot of points. He puts a sound plan together each week. He keeps you off balance by mixing coverages and pressures, and I think he really knows how to use the talent that he has at his fingertips. Just an excellent job by this Miami defense the last 3 weeks.
There's Brandon Fields with time running down, getting it away. Spiller lets it bounce out of bounds. We're down to 22 seconds to play a 41-yard punt. So Miami on Thursday looking at Dallas. And another look at the AFC East standings with New England on top and the Patriots home for Kansas City tomorrow night. And Buffalo and the Jets are now even at 5-5.
Yeah, Buffalo at a bit of a crossroads. They've been outscored quite a bit here the last couple weeks. They need to play better to avoid a third-place finish in the division and another season of watching the playoffs from home. And talked about this tough 3-game road stretch. You lose to Dallas, they lose here to Miami, and next week they be facing a Jets team that's coming off a disappointing Thursday night loss to Denver. It's going to have an extra 3 days to prepare for the Bills.
So that wraps it. Miami has now gone 12 quarters without allowing a touchdown, and the Dolphins defeat the Bills 35-8. Coming up next, Game 2 of the NFL on CBS doubleheader. So for Rich Gannon, this is Marv Albert saying so long from Miami. Thanks to producer Ross Schneiderman, director Mark Grant, statistician Mike Bazemore, and our spotter J.D. Rutledge. You've been watching the NFL on CBS. Coming up, the NFL Today update presented by Verizon. We take you to New York for all of the scores and highlights right after this.